we are back for another locker room report with the Montreal Canadiens. Of course, Coach Frenchy is working for Thailand. He's back in the house after the off. And Mr. Enortap somewhere, somehow in Toronto, picking up what he was the last time. Welcome back, everybody. We are Wednesday night, December 6th, 2023.
Hello, Coach. Hello, Hockey Nation. We're ready for a very interesting evening. Lots of discussion tonight, eh, Coach?
Oh, we have a lot of things on the continents about that. We know we'll talk about different things, but first of all, I'm going to give you what we got on the subject, Mr. Enortap. The Montreal Canadiens, no progression in 2023-2024. A lot of fans thinking they can make the playoff. They are about, 2 points behind the wild card, if I can recall it, Mr. Enortap?
Yeah, I think that's about right. Maybe.
Yeah, but when you look a little bit more deeper, individual stats, talk about the team stats, compare the year prior and today, you go to realize, wow, that's maybe not the good thing to learn about that. So I just want to showing to people what I found for Montreal Canadiens last year compared this season. And if you follow my videos, no, it was not yesterday, but it was 2 days ago. Justin Barron, the most improvement players for the Montreal Canadiens this season with 5 goals in 21 games. Finally, if you follow my channel, I did a live stream at Thailand. You can looking about that one over there. We're going to be back with another video today about Thailand. And that's what we got, Mr. Enortap, tonight, talking about the progression of the Montreal Canadiens. But before we start, we want to welcome everybody. We're going to do very quickly, Mr. Enortap.
Yeah.
First of all, before that, we want to wish speed recovery for our co-host of the Wednesday night locker room, Mr. Marko Larabi. Marko is still hurt about his visit at the dentist, and then we wish the best. We'll be ready for next week. We'll be back with us next week. So anyway, let's go back with
well done, Marco.
Yeah, of course. Leon Renault, we're back in the house, Mr. Enortap. We'll see if it works or not, Mr. Enortap. Let's check your head. There we go. This over her head is going to hit my head, but we're going to go a little bit dark. Like the Anam Ducks, and see what we got here. And I'm going to get this. Mr. Enortap always easy sometime in this live. Bold. See that one over there? Is it better? A little bit better. About that, but still a little bit higher. I'm going to drop a little bit more. Hanging there, ladies and gentlemen. Don't be worried about that. Fritzer, bold. Get there, Mr. Enortap. We should be fine on that one over there. Here we go. I love it. So people can see a little bit more. Léon, Redor with nous ce soir. Léon. He said, Xhekaj, Mr. Enortap. Prudel tonight watching on ADS at the Goaltending Stop at Beach Ball. The Laval Rockets struggling. I can tell you that, Léon. I have the same feeling. It's not fun about that one over there. Our friend from Bangkok, Mr. Enortap, Roy, is back in the house tonight. Thanks to be with us, Mr. Roy. He said, Vasilevsky equipment ground bigger again. About that, yeah, they are winning right now, Mr. Enortap. Again, the Pittsburgh Bank wins 3-0. The Tampa Bay Lightning, guys, are really a funny team this year. The last 12 games, Mr. Enortap, I think they are like 5-6. This tonight is the 12, maybe 5-7, whatever they are. But they are opposite. They gave the 5W, Mr. Enortap. They score 4 goals per game, 1.5. The power play is at 40, and the PK is 84. On the last 7 games, they score only 1.5, and they gave over 4 goals per game. And the power play is only at 15, and the PK is only at 66. So right. It's a very interesting year for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They are, 4 in the Atlantic Division, I believe. And Kucherov had a great year in Mr. Enortap, first scorer in NHL.
But, yeah, you're right about that. I mean, the most concerning part when you are this many games into the season is their goal differential. And I think they're at about a -6. Now, tonight, that'll help a little bit. I mean, you can make the argument Vasilevsky was out of the lineup for quite a while, and so it's going to take time for them. But you know what? If they can make a couple of moves before the trade deadline time especially on the defense core that they have. I think they're going to be fine. I think they're a team that you wouldn't want them if they're a wild card 1 or a wild card 2. That's for sure.
Enortap, that is last 100 game. Kucherov, 145 points.
There you go.
Before that, the 100 game, he has 125 points. So Kucherov, whatever you don't
He's
like
amazing.
him, he performed very well. Abination is in the house tonight. Welcome back. Our friend Maurice Robillard.
Abination. Welcome.
Back with us, Mr. Maurice Robillard. Thanks to be with our
Welcome,
Canadian
Maurice.
show. Our friend, moderator number 1 tonight, Mr. Ron with Kings 20. What a comeback for the Kings yesterday, Mr. Enortap.
Oof.
Again, the Columbus Blue Jacket winning and losing 3-1. A lot of people were said this is maybe the end of the, the streak on the road. And they come back with 3 goals, and then the Rocket, Dottie, on the 3 versus 3. Gave the W. They are at 10. Now they joined the Buffalo Sabres with a 10 straight. The record in NHL could become the only team with 11 straight game on the road. This is, of course, at the beginning of the season, right? But we're going to play again Montreal Canadiens tomorrow. And
quick question for you, Coach. Quick question. Right now, as of today, in your ranking, where would you have LA?
I would set you top 3 right now.
Top 3, yeah. I would agree.
The only thing I would say to you, they are maybe the best team system-wise, everything like that, but top 3. The playoff, my only concern is going to be the goaltending. Talbot remind a lot of people said Talbot, but Talbot, Mr. Enortap, when he played with the Minnesota Wild, he have a great defensive in front of him, right?
Unit,
but he stopped the puck. He was a great number with the Tampa Bay with the Minnesota Wild 2-3 years ago. That's what he does right now with the Kings. He's able to stop the puck and keep the team. And
that's right.
He does not give a lot of bad goals when you have a good defensive in front of him. So he can do that. Now the playoff is another season, right? It's different. I'm not sure Talbot will be the right duo with could play, but they can't have the time until the trade deadline to figure out the situation, everything like that.
I mean,
for sure.
I love their depth down the middle. They probably have arguably the best 3 centermen in the league right now, so that takes you far.
That's one of the key there. The Boston Bruins is another team looking great since the beginning of the season. I know the Rangers lost 6-2 last night, but overall, I think they're pretty good about that. Dallas, Colorado, and Vegas, I put them all together because they all been, they're looking good, but it's been like a slump at some point. They never be consistency like the 3 other team I'm talking about. The Panthers are really close with them. They are winning tonight. The last time I checked, it was 3-1.
I think.
No, 4-3, Mr. Enortap.
Oh, 4-3 now. Yeah,
4-3. Nice. So apologize for the delay about that. But that's what happened about this. Let's move on with other things.
Yes,
we have about this. Thinking about moving from to Pattaya and Avril. Oh, Maurice, that'd be great. Maurice to move in Pattaya. Please, that would be great. That would be awesome. Look forward to do that. Rick Bengal is in the house with a beautiful Dementra, Mr. Enortap, from dans la région de Halifax.
Rick.
Thanks to be with our the Ab Nation tonight. Here we go. Luciano Graziano, Mr. Enortap, knock the door.
Luciano, welcome.
Ron say was a bit surprised, like everybody else. Ron, that's something I was too. Coach, I've been busy playing music, so getting late and wake up late. Marissa, look like he's playing music. Mr. Enortap, would like to hear what kind of music do you play? Marissa, guitar, piano. Drummer, I don't know, Mr. Tap. We'll see if he can give us a bit more information about that. Don't expect to
Singer,
move in
lead singer.
Pattaya to have a new player with you. You'll be at the wrong side. You're going to shut down your company very quickly with me around, Mr. Tap. So, Maurice, take right now. It's not going to happen, Mr. Maurice. About that, my friend William McLaren, Mr. Tap, back in the house tonight. Thank you, Mr.
Welcome,
William.
William.
Rick, yes, I agree with you, Rick, about the Laval Rocket. Patrick Leblanc, Mr. Enortap, is back with us tonight. Patrick,
Welcome,
thanks
Patrick.
to the Canadian show. A little bit too hard, Mr. Enortap. He's getting better. He's going to be better if I got drop at 36 for that one over there. I'm going to move up here. There we go. Thanks, everybody, to be a part of the show tonight. Progression or stagnation, Roy said, I think some player progress. Sad, maybe the show about the forget the Dak is out along with many others for Savard and Dak. Mr. Randy Walkman, Mr. Tap, knock the door tonight. Welcome back.
Welcome, Randy.
RTP in the house for Newfoundland, Mr. Tap.
The real deal.
You know, I think if we can, we cannot see him, but I can feel his frustration, Mr. Tap, with
It's
his Buffalo
understandable.
Sabres.
It's very understandable. I mean, sometimes that's part of the growing process, right? Sometimes a team will take a step back before they actually can make that plunge. So let's hope that's all it is in Buffalo's case. I mean, in all fairness, they have had a lot of injuries this year. They've had Thompson out for a good chunk of the year.
The
The goaltending
goaltending is the
situation
biggest problem for me,
has
I think.
hasn't been very good at all.
Yeah, I
And
agree with you.
even the defense has been a bit on the weak side, but
Yep,
we'll
I agree
see.
with you about that one. Then, Randy said Star tied the game 3-3. The Saints that, Mr. Tap, the Panthers take the lead now 5-3.
5-3, yeah.
Yep.
Florida's
Quebec
on a roll.
Evans, Quebec, we need Wi-Fi and Pasada in the lineup. Interesting. Interesting about that one over there. About his play on the
Tampa
app
Bay.
goaltending session is a mess. What is not our Mr. Tap from Denver, Arvada. He is back with us with the moves, and the moves. Mr. Tap
Welcome,
is the
Willie.
moves going to be at the Silver Stick tournament in January. Anyhow, Al Austin and the Sens are constructing while constructing new team must at the present Barca will not be here 2 or 3 years from now. Laval coaching session is a mess. But this RG Calabro finally knocked the door, Mr. Enortap. RG Calabro
Welcome,
from New
RJ.
Jersey is in the house. Our friend Tony Reardon knocked the door. Tony, thanks to be with our Canadian show. Don't forget, guys, to click on the like if you don't mind.
Welcome,
That'd be
Tony.
great. That'd be awesome. All you want to bother me whatsoever. You can knock on my comments all you want. Don't bother me at all. I don't know Leo, about that one there. Montreal has a worse differential in the Eastern Conference. Normally, this should translate for the last position, meaning they are very lucky to be where they are. Patrick Leblanc, great set about that one over there. We'll talk about this in the next couple of minutes. Round 3 goal and 6:38. Yes, they did. Both all play well. Watching the game now. Yeah, they have a very good game tonight against the Pittsburgh Penguins. You know, friends, honestly, the goaltending. Cirelli scored 6 of the season. Kusharov's got another goal tonight, Mr. Enortap. About that
Who
one
are they
there.
playing, Coach? Who are they
The
playing?
Pittsburgh Penguins tonight, Mr. Enortap.
Oh, yes, yes.
Pittsburgh are
I
still in
used
the
to.
race. That's the beauty about that one. They lose, but they're still in the race
Well,
for the
so is
wild card.
Montreal, for that matter.
They are still in the
So is
wild card
Montreal.
about that. What a great year by Sidney Crosby, Mr. Enortap, by the way. 15 goals
Yes,
this year
yes. Yeah.
for them.
Crosby's amazing.
Well, you can talk about Pittsburgh. We like to talk about the Islanders last night. Oh,
Well, at least they're getting their 1 points here and there.
but they should have
But
2
there's
points.
problems. They've actually, that's a very good thing you bring up, because they've had, I believe, I'll have to check this again, but I believe 10 games that they went into the third period with a lead and have not come out with 2 points.
Yeah.
So
And
that's a
sometimes we
problem.
told them when they score 4 goals, for them, it should be an automatic win, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, part of it is the goaltending hasn't been absolutely great. It's mental lapse where they try to protect leads when they should be going and pushing the gas a little bit more, and they get themselves in this kind of situation. Like
But it's not
out of
like
these 10
a
games,
loss when you talk about losing against San Jose like that.
yeah, absolutely. So,
Yeah.
well,
Well, it's not about
they're
her. At the end of the day, Mr. Top, whatever is the team in front of you, you're losing like that is the loss, honestly. Like mentally for the coaching
absolutely,
staff, the play
absolutely.
players, like they are not happy about the point. They don't really care about the points. They all care about what happening, and they are. It's disappointed. They know that about that. So
Yeah, it's demoralizing, right?
yeah,
Like you play
exactly.
so hard and then you blow it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. At least like it was
But
4-1, I believe
uh,
it was.
having said that, I mean they hold the second wild card right now, so
Oh, they're
we'll
still
see if they
hanging there.
can.
This is a team I said they
Yeah,
were hanging there,
yeah,
like
yeah.
Pittsburgh. Uh, I never thought Washington would be that space with them.
Well, they're going down.
Honestly,
Yeah,
the Flyers is really a surprise of the and the standing over there. You have to mention the Flyers. The Flyers is really over what I was expect on the surprise and
yeah,
the disappointment. Whatever they are second and the division. The Carolina Hurricane are really disappointed, in my opinion. The way they play games, the way they lose game, and the performance of Chefnikov, example, the goaltending are not be great recently.
yeah.
Since the beginning season overall, and I don't know. It's the team I was
It's
expect
so
better.
uncharacteristic. It's uncharacteristic of them because usually you think of Carolina, they're a very disciplined team. If they ever get the lead, it's hard to come back on them. And this year they've been blowing leads as well. So
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
agree with
I don't
you.
know. Anderson. I think Anderson hurts not having them there.
Of course. Gary Cornoy back in the house. Gary Cornoy said he's tired
Hey
of the snow
Gary,
already, Mr. Tap. Make him walking too much for him. So, Gary, welcome back. Randy said Kane make a debut against San Jose tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see that. He's going to play with the Debra Cat and GT confirmed, Mr. Tap. So, he want to keep Larkin and Raymond together
second line.
to be
Yeah,
on the Cup contender this year. Maurice for the game. Mr. Fixer is in the house. Mr. Tap Fixer, welcome back. Thanks to be with our Canadian Live show. Uh, uh, I heard the ad are charging fans 191 to get your autograph. I thought of you, Coach. Yeah, I heard that article about that. Very interesting to see that. I don't know if it's only an autograph. Maybe have a cake come with this, Mr. Tap. Who knows? About this over there. The Florida is a 2.0 version of the Vegas version. Last year, just a bit more greasy, as William would said. Here we go. Saber should be better, Luciano. LDP. Uh, Saber on the 15 years of building program since into the Montreal. The ref and the Flat Dallas game really like the Panthers. Andy Kuvila. Welcome back, Andy. I didn't look the game, obviously. Coach, I give you free lesson on any strength instrument you want to play. For rest, yeah, no chance. Yeah, no
you
chance.
got
Whatever you try to do, I will not do it. It's not what I like to do, and I'm not good. Coach, in our tab, are you surprised how well both Banderas and Top McLennan have done with the respect team? So, Tap,
well, Maurice. No, I'll be quite honest with you because I think wherever he's been, he's pretty much been a very good coach. I thought when he was with Winnipeg, it was more of a team problem. They had some bad apples on the team, and I think that's what drove him to make the decision that he did. And then coming to Florida, I think he's really changed things around. And who was the other coach?
Todd McLennan for the Kings.
Yes, yes. Well, he's always had a great history of bringing out teams right from the bottom. He gets them to work hard, 100% all the time. You never see the quit in them, and that's a reflection of him and his not only his system but his attitude. Because a lot of the players' direction takes focus from what the coach kind of portrays, and they mimic that in their own play. So yeah, both of them have had very good resumes.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. 5-4, Mr. Enortap, Flip Panthers again. That is starting out. That is it. Don't give up. I don't want to quit in the building, Mr. Enortap. They just cut the lead for 2-1 for that part over there. Alan Vianco knocked the door. Thanks so much, Mr. Alan Vianco, to be with
Welcome.
us. That's directly from Kentucky. Back to you about this, Mr. Tap. I think not only the coaches we have to, give credit. I think that both general manager bring
Yes,
for the coaches the right players to what the system look like. So it's a team effort. I think Rob Blake make an amazing, great GM with them for the last 5 years. Bill Zito, since he got hired 3 years ago, put a lot of great players, a
for
great trade. We know at the trade deadline 2 years ago he struggled, but he was going to give the best chance for the Fly Panther. Did not work at the end with Andrew Brunette and the players, with Jonathan Huberdeau, with the story at the strip club, everything like that. And at the end of the day, I think Paul Maurice does a good job and McLennan with both team. But the GM make something very good. Uh,
absolutely right.
so again,
No, you're absolutely right. That's a good point.
yep. We're going to see other things. How does baseball have only 4 point load all season? That's crazy when you think about that when they bring Eric Carlson and the mix. Sometimes chemistry is a very important point. They are going for the five tonight. Edmonton play again the Carolina Hurricanes. A cake with a happy ending for 191 Abination. About that one there. Jimbo Flatfoot is in the house. Welcome back, Mr. Jimbo. Thanks for good talking to the show. Don't forget, guys,
Welcome,
to
Jim.
click on the like. If you don't mind, that'd be awesome. We really appreciate everybody. And we knock the door for everything happening in Santa. We'll do at the beginning of the show. We hit the headlines. And the headlines tonight, we're going to talk about your first headline. And let's see what we got tonight in Center Tap. And the first one of the night is honestly from you. And he said, the Wi-Fi is connected, Mr. Tap. And what happening, Mr. Tap?
You forgot the question mark at the end of that. Wi-Fi down?
Wi-Fi
Yeah, that's
down.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, in reference to our beloved Arber Xhekaj, of course, there's been a lot of speculation lately and commentaries going back and forth about whether it was the right thing to do to send him down or not, and has he lost confidence because of the one time that they claimed that Martin St. Louis kind of ripped into him about taking too many chances. And when you got to be very careful when you put all of this together. At the base of all of this was an injury, and of course there's nothing wrong with going down and getting a little bit of uh, a period of recuperation from that, and building your way back up. Right now, there's no need at this point to rush him up. I do believe that, as much as I love Wi-Fi, and I think he obviously deserves to be here. We have to do what's best for the players, and if a lot of times, uh, if it were up to the players, that they would come back on the ice even if they're not feeling 100%. And that's the thing you have to be careful about, right? I think that if if we're not careful, players will get more seriously hurt down the road, and they're just your due precautions. Like we called up both Struble and Lindstrom, and they've done very admirable jobs. I would say Struble has been probably one of the most reliable defensemen in the last 3 or 4 games for Montreal. Hasn't played a lot of time. I wish that they had given him a little bit more. So my point here being, they don't have to rush him, and I would also say there's no need to fear, because Xhekaj will have a position here in Montreal. There's even been talk, well, maybe they're going to trade him. That's not going to happen. I mean, this guy is very much loved, not just by the fan base, but also by his teammates. And you can tell when he's in the lineup, the players around him are playing, 2 or 3 inches taller and with much more confidence. And that's a commodity that no matter what kind of mistakes you're doing now, pays dividends in the end. And I would love one day to see him in a playoff situation, because I think that uh, these are the kind of players that in the playoffs really make a difference for Montreal, or for any team, not just Montreal. But again, I wouldn't worry. He'll be up when the time is right, and if it's one game, it's one game. If it's 3 or 4 weeks, then it's going to be 3 or 4 weeks. The beauty of having built your cupboard up with all these prospects, especially on defense, is that you're afforded the luxury of doing such things and not throwing a player in a position where maybe they're not quite ready for at a particular time. So have no fear. The repairman's coming back and fixing that Wi-Fi, and he'll be up very, very soon, I believe.
But everything tonight, the Belleville beat Laval, mais c'est un top 4-0.
Yeah, it's
You
four
have a
nothing.
player
Yeah,
like Imama.
yeah.
He just hit everybody. He have a two double niner so far. He have a 10-minute. And then we just got Joshua Roy got a cross check from behind. And then Imama hit you know, uh, a jab to another player for the Laval Rocket. Xhekaj is behind. He did nothing.
But maybe
Nothing.
that's what he's been instructed. That's my
I
fear,
would be
right?
surprised. If you want to come back and in a shot, you don't change your style. You have to get there. They were not going to tell him, don't play that way, that way, that way. They went and said, you have to improve your defensive. You have to go there. But to be like that, that's really, for me, right there, this is a red flag for me. You have to
Yeah, but
go there. You have to you support your teammate. And to
I
have
I agree
nobody on the
100%.
ice right now for Laval Rocket to talk in the face of Imama, he turned his head. He did not do anything. He did not go in front of Imama. That happened twice tonight. This is really not what I don't know, man. But if he got that, what he would get and to get tell them you cannot fight in American or Quebec. I don't think so. That's right about that. I don't know, but this is really shocking me. This is a part of his role. This is what he's good to. That's what he keep him in the NHL. So, and now he don't apply that in American Hockey. I don't know, but I don't set five every time. But you have a player right now like Imama, like he hit everything tonight. He hit like face, Calipo, Kaiser. He hit now tonight Brisson, and cross checking in the back for Joshua Roy, and nobody do nothing there. I don't only blame him. I'm just blame the overall the Laval Rocket. Yeah, Mayu in the lineup. They have a big gun in the lineup. They can fight, I believe. They have at least respond, do something in return. Like remember the incident,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Montagu got hit and Perry passed over, and nobody did nothing. That's the kind of situation I can refer to you. Like I don't know, but uh, it's really
Well, the losing doesn't play a good part, right? When you're losing, the whole morale is down, and I agree. Like these are situations where somebody should be stepping up and taking control, just to show that there's a pulse there. I still believe the Laval could put things together, but right now they're a very demoralized team, and I think it begins with the goaltending coach. Right now, they don't have any confidence in whomever they're putting in net, whether it's Man or Dobesh. And I think part of what we're experiencing here with the three goalie situation is contributing to that, because we could have had Primo down there, and I think he would have been a very solidifying piece for Laval. And there's the injuries as well, and I just worry with regards to. I understand what you're saying about Xhekaj, but we don't know what what instructions he was given. And I understand you have to stand up for your team, and I'm
Rick said
100%
the same thing
for
like you.
that.
He said he was told not jump in. Like
Well, that could very well
this will
be
be a really
because
bad education.
I
If you,
agree, but what I'm saying is we can't blame Xhekaj for it, right? If he's been given instructions to do something and he doesn't do that, then I can guarantee you he's not going to make his way back up to Montreal. And that's right now what the dilemma is all about. Like he's really listening to whatever instruction he's being given, and it's forcing him not to be who he is in many cases. All right. And it's happened in Montreal and it's happened now in Laval. Um, it's not characteristic of who he is not to get involved. So to me, that speaks volumes that somebody is telling him, stay away from that penalty box. Do not get involved in extracurricular activities.
but it's like if you are good at something, you play a kind of game. It's like don't hit anybody. Like don't be involved with something. Don't hit everybody. It's like you remove something he's good about. It's not like I don't know, but
Okay, so what we're saying is it's either a coaching or management problem. It's not a player problem.
yeah,
That's what it could be.
an empty net now goal from the Belvis 5-0. Anyhow, it is what it is, Mr. Enortap. Anyhow, Mr. Enortap, I have my headline. You don't know my headline. Amen. Martin, we did it, Mr. Enortap. Slafkovsky first line. Slafkovsky on power play. And Ireland on power play number 2, Mr. Enortap. Back-to-back game. This what I'm talking about. Martin said we honestly start to understand what the fans want, and not only about his veterans. He removed Josh Anderson, and then he removed another players of the PP2. And now we have Mr. Laptop, the young guns on the Montreal Canadiens. Give them minute. Let them play hockey. We don't need Gallagher. We don't need Anderson. We don't need Armia. We don't need Peseta. Evans. We need young guns, Mr. Natap, play minute on the ice. This is a part of the development. And finally, after 25 games, Mr. Natap, at 24, he understood Martin and we maybe I should put Slafkovsky on the first line. And he did it, Mr. Natap, and he understood what he takes now, and that's happening. So finally, Martin said we understood that part of the game, Mr. Enortap. What do you think about the new change of the Martin said we?
Long overdue. Long overdue. We've been calling for Slafkovsky to play on that front line and see how he plays. And as improvement has happened, that opportunity finally has come. Now, I'm curious to see how consistent he will be with keeping this, Martin St. Louis. Like, I hope this isn't a 1 or 2 day or 2 game experiment, and then he starts putting the players back into the Vitamix and mixing up the lines again. I think the last game we saw of Slafkovsky was arguably the best game he's played so far in his very young career. And I wasn't kidding when I said when I saw him do that rush from end to end from behind his own net and he almost scored on it. He reminded me of a Peter Mahovlich. He has a very ginger skating ability, good stick handling ability. He just hasn't quite gotten to anywhere near that stage, but he will. He will. He's gonna be fine, and you just have to give him time to adapt. And to me, he doesn't look like that deer in the headlights that he looked like last year.
Yeah, like Martin Louis is a big fan of Slafkovsky. They teach him to play the right thing, the details of the game, and everything like that. And Slafkovsky deserves to be where he's at, to play on the top six. And he does a lot of good things that a young man at 19 years old does not do. In his shell, that's the reason he playing in his shell. I'm going to talk about him a little bit later about that. We have Mr. Look, Go Abs Go is on the house tonight. Welcome everybody. Thanks, Nicholas Long. is in the house. Thanks to be with our Canadian show. But if you don't forget, guys, click on the like. We appreciate a lot. We know every Wednesday night is the Locker Room Report from Montreal Canadiens. Talk about the Montreal Canadiens, your Bleu Blanc Rouge. And I'm going to move on a bit over the things we got, Mr. Tap, to talk about. Tampa Bay beat the Pittsburgh Penguins up at 3-1 with 32
Final.
seconds to go. Panthers still winning 5-4, empty net right now for the Dallas Stars. We'll see they can tie the game. And then the Blues are winning 2-1 again to go tonight at the end of the first period. Four game. The big game is at 9:30, Mr. Tap. The Hurricane
Yeah.
play again the
And
Edmonton
Edmonton
Oilers.
Oilers.
That's what we got.
How big of a surprise is St. Louis to you, Coach?
So again,
How big of a surprise is St. Louis to you this year so far?
what better was my expectation for sure.
Yeah.
It's a team fight because that division is not great, right? But we have to give them, credit for accomplished. Greg Berube does a good job behind the net, behind the bench, and then the goaltender have been a little bit better. I think Bennington a little bit better this year, and with a slow start of Kiru and Thomas. The defensive overall did better compared last year. Perenko was struggling last season with them, Schultz, everybody else. And this year they play more like a team together, and that helping them. Is it the new Arrival?
Yeah.
Because remember, Mr. Anta, they lost Barbachel, they lost Tarasenko,
That's right.
and a lot of people, they was a little bit concerned about this. Brenny Shine brings some kind of leadership inside that team by helping them for sure. And they add Kevin Haynes, and I don't know. I think we have to give credit for them for sure, but I don't think so. They're going to make the playoff. I think. I was not believe it, but you have to give credit right now for the Arizona Coyotes. It's like that's crazy the way they play right now. The Coyotes.
I told you that. Don't be
6W,
surprised.
the
Don't be
6W they got,
surprised.
I believe, and then they play again the great team in NHL. So will be interesting what happening about that for sure. Slafkovsky is getting still a bit like a young Yager for GSM. Coach Enortap, can you tell us a little bit about Chicago defenseman rookie Louis Crevier for Mr. Enortap? Louis Crevier.
Oh, Crevier.
Laval just scored 2 goals back to back, Mr.
Yeah,
Enortap.
he's the. Oh wow.
Yeah, it was 5-0 in
Crevier's.
empty net.
I believe he's. Wow. Wow.
Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
Crevier
Talking
was,
twice.
I think, a pick from Chicago. I think he's 6'8", if I'm not mistaken. He's like 220 pounds or thereabouts. Like he's definitely a big boy. He's, I I think he's a right-handed defenseman, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, but I think there's a lot of promise, but he's got a long way to go still. He's got a very sort of unnatural way about him, and that maybe that's still, he's 22 right now. It's not that he's a young kid anymore. Not that 22 by any stretch is old, but hockey terms, it's a little bit older. And I think he's growing into his body and his size, but he's a decent skater for his own size, and he's definitely a good, from what I've heard, a good defenseman that will probably be there at some point soon.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I don't know much about his stats right now, but I can look that up at some
He
point.
played one game on the NHL, honestly.
Yeah,
Drafted by them, 7th round, Mr. Tap, I think 2018,
yeah, I think so, something like that,
right?
because
Like you said,
he's 22 right now.
6'8", 223. Playing the American Accolade with Rockford, I believe. Have a 0 goal in 50 games, 16 games this year, so I can give you that. Yeah, 0 goal last year and 62 game. Uh, it's an
He had
maybe
a good year when he played with the Ramparts, though.
when I look at
I
him,
think
I
he.
remind me Hal Gill.
Yeah, you're right. All right.
That's the kind of
But
player you can
remember,
compare
even with Hal
honestly.
Gill,
Yeah,
he was very effective as a penalty
defensive,
killer,
everything like that, stay home,
defensive. Yeah,
and everything like that. But would be interesting if he's going to get, stay in the NHL
the
for
opportunity.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
you have to give credit for that one for sure, Mr. Tap. Just want to give you a little bit. Final score, Mr. Tap, Panthers beat the Dallas Star 5-4.
5-4, and okay,
Vegas just scored 2 goals.
big win.
It's a still work in progress. 3-1. The Blues again, the Golden Knights. About that one over there. Mark Elliott, thanks so much to be with us. Don't forget, get click on the likes. Please explain to me why Mallet gets so much ice time in Laval. Oof.
I don't know.
Mark, I don't. It's and I don't want to say it that way, Mark, but when you have a slum like what they are, you try to find a spy plug, and sometimes you try to go with your favorite players or something. You're close with the coach. You try that. I don't see GF always this way, Mark. I just try to give you a little bit an insight of what a coach does. Honestly, when someone said coach don't have favorite players, I would say you're right and no. If you want to be a favorite player, Mr. Tap, you have to work hard and you have to show to the coach he's going to love you by the way you produce on the ice, right? Specific role, everything like that. But for me, honestly, I don't know too much to tell you exactly the answer about that, Mark, for that. And for me, Mayette is not going to be the next player
No,
for the organization for Montreal Canadiens overall. So I don't think so would be the right things to do that. But another last message of that for the for the Laval Rocket 5-2 tonight. Not looking good, Mr. Tap. You can see the
no,
player
no. They have
frustrated
to right that ship. They have to right it.
for that one over there. A lot of people talk about Slafkovsky. You're right, William Slafkovsky still learning. Give him time. William Slafkovsky is to 90% speed in the NHL. How about that? Who can see there is a metric in NHL edge? You have a great point about this, Patrick. It was funny. I was going to talk about that the next couple of minutes, Patrick, for them. Dave Thompson is a beast. Finally back in the lineup, but then straight ahead, speed, yes. But Sakasi on the cut back and creating time and space with his blade, still working about that. Now, like I remember, guys, everybody have to work on their skating. Like it's nothing like it's learning that way. Then they make NHL. Sakasi need to learn about Fenting for sure. But the way he developed this year, the way he progressed, I think, just a normal process for that one. Florida Luciano said, come we have big guys, you don't have to skate like the win. Sakasi with his size already cover a lot of space. But, Byfield.
Good point,
Byfield
Gary.
is on top at the time was great. At the draft, it was said he's skating. Byfield played the Team Canada, moved from center to winger at the third line because it was said, oh, he need to improve his skating about that. So I can understand your point with about this. What Farrell not
Yeah,
ready for NHL yet? Either GSM of just what one Mr. Tap 7 game, maybe 8 game with 0 point.
yeah. But that's been his mo really all the time. He goes through these phases where he goes very silent. He's a very good. I think he's a very good skater. He's a good player, Farrell. But I don't know. I don't know if he's not ready just yet to be at the NHL level. And remember we were rushing Waugh to come up early. And now look at where he's at. Right.
Yeah.
I know part
Now,
of it is the players, but
now think about this, Mr. Taps. We every time we start, you go to an NHL, all right? It's a funnel, right? More you go close to the NHL, it's not many can make it, right? You understand that. Second day we said,
yeah,
Mr. Tap, you've been a hockey player since you play Pee Wee. Every league you play, every year you dominate. You get point left and right. Pee Wee, Bantam, Tripler A, Junior, and then you have a 2-3 season 100 point. You've been drafted first overall pick and the QM. And now you hit the Laval Rocket, 12 points the first 7 games, something like that. And now for the first time on your life, not on the first time at the last 2 years, first time on his life since he play hockey, he has 0.8 game. Never happened to him. Mentally, this is a really difficult time for him mentally. He have to be
Agreed.
strong. He
Yeah.
have to find a way now to get out that part. And now he have to not only produce, he have a difficult time to produce, but he have to find with his mindset now at the game. And this is a really first time for him. So not easy, Mr. Nata.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And these are the things that make you a better player, right? If you can get through that adversity, then you're going to be ready for the NHL. Now, the thing that concerns me the most with Raw, and I haven't checked in the last couple of days, but last time I checked, he was the leader in plus minus as well in a negative direction. That worries me because it's one thing not to be getting goals, but to not be defensively responsible is every coach's frustration.
Now he don't play at power play. He does not play on the top line. Um, so it's not helping him for sure
Right.
overall, Mr. Tap. Talking about the Laval, Mr. Tap, do you think Gignac deserves a call up?
I think his contract won't allow it, right? I don't think he has a two-way contract with the
You're
Montreal, so
absolutely right. You
he's
have no contract with the
yeah,
Montreal Canadiens. You have a contract
yeah.
only with Laval Rocket. Just bring him up and Mark Gignac have to sign a new contract with Montreal. That will spend one of the 50 they have. I think they have 48 right now. I have to check about this. I'm not guaranteed. This is really out of
I
my
think you're
mind.
about right.
Uh, uh, they are not 46 Mr. Tap. So 46 they have right now. So that's happening about that. For Claude Richard, knock the door. Thanks so much, Claude Richard, de la belle région d'Ottawa. Don't forget, guys, to click on like. Do not have expectation, chill out, and relax. Have fans. As Steve Felix, one of the most renowned MLA insider, the Jays are on the favorite to win the Old Tenny sweepstakes at Mr. Enortap.
Interesting. Yeah, I know. I've been listening to that last few days, and right now they're favored. I think 60% to land them. So we'll see. Apparently, he said they're going to make a decision. He's going to make a decision by the weekend. So keep our fingers crossed.
Can he turn to be a Reggie Jackson from Montreal? Just kidding. Huh? Who is a what center? No, he's a winger, Mr. Abination. I see exactly, William. We are talking the same way. Slafkovsky and being become the next one. The key says Slafkovsky may be there and front the net, like Barfield, William McLaren. Look, Fortin is on the house. Look. Slafkovsky should be in American League for this year and up or the next year. He's still not ready for the NHL. He's still a child. Look, I disagree with you. And I will tell you why. At the next Mr. Enortap, you have time?
Yes,
Sarkozy
let's
gave
do
an
it.
interview to us today, Mr. Enortap. Let's sing Mr. Enortap Sarkozy.
Do everything every day. So I feel like there is a couple special young players, and now people think that everyone will be like those guys. So it's not always like that, and some guys need more time, some guys need less time, some guys never figure it out, will never figure that out. So yeah, for me, I know what I want at the end of my career. So yeah, I'm trying to do everything every day. So I'll at some point, and when I don't know 40 or 50, I'll say yeah, I did everything I could. I didn't want to change anything what I did on the way. Or so.
That's why he's 19 years old. And that's why he's so mature for his age. Mr. Enortap left the home at 14 years old, playing in Australia alone. He went to Finland. He went to Czech after that. And you can see the way he talked, he understood. Not many players become a star in NHL. Some players get better in NHL. Some never going to make it. The only way you are
Yeah,
in
he really.
control, and the only way you can do is to work every single day. The mental of the mindset of Slafkovsky is the reason why you bring him in NHL at a young age. He knows what it takes to become better. He worked his ass off every single day to become better. He had no break. He watched video after video. And Adam Nicola and Martin Saint-Louis, two excellent teacher and great player development. They are under him every single day. And that's the reason why you don't see him in Laval. That's the reason why you want him in Montreal. Since he been under Adam Nicola, look his progression in NHL. Look the detail of his game. His stick angling, his battle, is winning the battle in the corner. Don't look about the goal. It's not important right now. His number, the point. But look about how he's
100%.
developing under Martin Saint-Louis and Adam Nicola. That's the reason why he deserves to be in NHL. That's the reason why he's doing very well. And that's the reason why you have to wait until 23 years old, until then, to see if it's the right path for him. He was being developed the right way. Yeah, no expectation for him. We don't know he's going to be a 20 goal scorer, a 40 assists, a 25 scorer. We don't know that. The only thing we know, he's better today like he was last year. He improved the quality of his game by the details of his game. And that's the reason why he's become. The rest, the gold assist will come. But the chemistry he's making with Caulfield is getting better and better and better. And that's the reason for me, Slafkovsky, he deserves to be in NHL. I would like to hear from you, Mr. Enortap.
I think you put it all well together there, Coach. I agree. He's very mature for his age, and from the sounds of it, he's not a guy that's going to sit idly and accept mediocrity. I think he's going to really push himself so that when his career is over, as he put it, he's not going to regret not having left something on the ice, right? He's going to go for it all the time. Just think of even this summer. I mean, he went through an intensive training this summer. Did a lot of work with his stick handling. He did a lot of work with his working on his vision as well. And I think it's slowly paying off. You just have to give the guy time to properly develop. Like when this guy slowly breaks out of this, you're gonna see a player that you're gonna enjoy on a nightly basis.
Mr. Enortap, did you have a storm, an Oiler storm in Toronto?
Snowstorms?
Yeah, Oilers storm. Did you feel it?
No, I feel like they scored maybe.
They scored 2 goals in 34 seconds and the 41
Oh,
second at the beginning of the game.
oh my goodness!
McLeod
And
and
probably
Ekholm.
oh, there you go.
Wow,
There you go.
wow,
And
wow,
do we
wow.
still think maybe the Oilers won't make the playoffs?
They're getting there, Mr.
Uh,
Enortap. They're looking good
they're
about
getting
this
there.
one
It's
there.
right.
We
I'm
have
more
come
worried
back.
about Carolina.
Yeah, Fulton Donuts is in the house tonight. Sarkozy not grow into his body yet. Like his ball corner play Jimbo. Nicholas love Leo. Thought shame Canadian could not get him. Will look so good in the hands. I agree with you, Nicholas. I just look about Leo Carlson a couple of days ago. He looking great, Mr. Tap. About
He
that
is. He
one
is.
over there. Marcus, Sakowski is learning comment to win the battle. His balance on his skate is better. I agree with you about that. Improving week by week is impressive. Jumbo, about that. Look at where the Rangers are today, thanks to Jeff Gordon. Be patient, have fans. Talking about the Rangers, Mr. Tap. It took, what, 3, 4 years for Lafreniere? But Lafreniere now with Panarin, what a great chemistry they have
Looking
together.
much better.
So much better is sometimes player take a time. He understood Sakowski said. You never know how long it would take. It could be quicker, faster, better. And any path is the same way for all the players. And that's the reason for me is very excellent about Sakowski and our tap
Yeah.
for that. Better que Sakowski, Leo. You cannot compare Leo Carlson with Sakowski, Leon. It's not the same level about that. Yeah, no players in the 2022 draft compared to Leo Carlson, Leon. You have to compare Carlson with Bedard, with Fantilli,
Fantilli.
and Will Smith. The other 4 player was on the draft over there, and you have to see about that. Compared to other players, I don't think so. It's fair enough to compare them. Question, Mr. Alemiako, with Irene and the motherland, Mr. Tap. Just back for his warm-up. Alan, are you surprised by the Caulfield goal total this year?
How do you answer that? I thought maybe he'd have a few more goals than he does right now. That's the short answer. The longer answer would be there's extenuating circumstances for that as well, right? You have to consider the fact that he hasn't been on the first line the whole year. There's been a number of injuries that affect that as well, who he plays with. So I'm not worried about Caulfield. I think at some point he can be a very streaky scorer as well. And if he goes 2 or 3 games where he puts a couple goals in each game, all of a sudden we're not talking about his total, even though it's still very respectable right now.
Yeah.
For me, anyways.
Caulfield, well, how many goals he has after 25 games? This year, have 7 goals. Last season, how many goals do you think
7.
he has?
I think he had 1.
9.
9. No,
9.
We're talking before Martin St. Louis came in?
No. Last season.
At this
when
point.
he was on pace to score 46 goals. Before he got hurt at game number 46, he has 48 maybe. He had 26 goals.
Yeah.
So from game 26, Mr. Tap, to game 48 or 46, right? I will give you 46 example. The next 21 goal, and he scored a total of 14 goals, 17 goals. After that, he really jumped after that, Mr. Tap, for the second quarter of the season, Caulfield, and that's the reason he performed about that. And Mr. Marko Larabi is in the house tonight. Thanks to be with our Canadian show. Mr. Arta, we're going to consider with the subject we got tonight. Really, what it was the point of the show tonight, Mr. Arta, it was about the no progression in 2023-2024. After I read an article about Michel Therrien a couple of days ago, maybe a week ago, I started to look about a little bit more deeper about that. He talked about Martin St. Louis, why the reason Montreal are not going to be a playoff team, and why the reason is not see any progression for last year. And he completely disagree with the management. Can you, Jeff Gordon, what he said at the beginning of the season is one they never want to mention about the word playoff. He does not believe as an NHL team, if you don't want to make the playoff or you don't have the goal to make the playoff, you're completely wrong about that. So he said this was the wrong message to send to the players at the beginning of the season, not talking about the playoff. They was really disagree with the performance of the Ken Hughes and Jeff Gordon at the beginning of the season. But what I did, Mr. Tap, I said, that's interesting what Therrien talked about this, then Jean Tremblay talked about on the radio. And then I said, all right, coach, you take a day off, you need to figure out something else. So I decided, Mr. Tap, with you tonight, talking about the no progression, and then I want to let you talking about where you find out after all the stats I'm going to give to you and the people in the fans, guys. This is a time to react, agree or disagree with Michel Therrien, agree or disagree with the performance of Montreal Canadiens so far after 25 games. So, what I did, I came back at 25 game. I look about the record. I look about power play, PK, goal again, goal for, differential. Then I talk about the stats about different players like Anderson, Zuski, and Caulfield. Then I want to hear from you, Mr. Tap. So let's talk about the record. Last year, Mr. Tap, 12-11-2, 25 points. Then the Montreal this year are 11-11-3, 24 points. Can see the same situation right now, right? 1 point behind. It's not the big deal. Remember, Mr. Tap, December 9, I believe, that was the night of the Montreal Canadiens traveling to the West Canadian, and that was the departure of Montreal. After that, it was the beginning of the downside of Montreal. Remember that one?
Yes, of course. How can we forget?
Goal for Enortap last year, 76 goal. This year, 72. We are behind.
Mm.
Goal again, almost the same, 90, 89. No progression there. Only one goal. The differential, Enortap, minus 14 last year. This year are minus 17. They are the worst team, Enortap, in NHL. And the Eastern Conference with the differential 17. When you look about a good team could make the playoff, a good team going to have a chance to make the playoff, the first thing you look is the differential
Yes,
right there,
yes.
because that will give you the how many goals you go per score per game, how many goals you gain again. This is a really a good number to give you a probability of the team about that. And by the way, I forgot to mention to you, of the 11 games they win on the 25 games on tap, only 5 of them are on regular time. They are at the bottom in NHL
They still have to win.
this year, right? Not done, Mr. Natap. I did my
Go for
search.
it. Go for it.
Power play, Mr. Natap. We decreasing the power play of 0.7%, Mr. Natap. 17.8 last year and 17.1 this year. On the PK, it's worse. PK was 79.4 last year. Now we drop at 73.4 this season. This another area, Mr. Tap, they're not looking good on the PK this year. Special team, not improvement at the end of the day. So finally, we know Mr. Natap, this is key, and Coffee is going to be a part of the Montreal Canadiens. We'll see. I took about Josh Anderson. I gave up on Doc. Madison, Mr. Natap, was not there last year. Monahan was not there, missed a game, everything like that. So I only focusing on front players, only 3 of them, Mr. Natap. And I'm talking about Suzuki. 14 gold, Mr. Natap, last year. 7 this year. 14 assists, same number. He dropped a 28 point at 21. Monahan left, Mr. Tap. We make some modification winger with Suzuki last year, and he started to get a slump for about 2 months with the Montreal Canadiens last season at the time of this year. Slafkovsky dropped 7 points compared last season. The Mr. Tap, after 6 minutes and 45 seconds, orders 3.
3-0.
3-0. Now, Caulfield.
Go, let's go.
Caulfield, Mr. Tap, about that one. I apologize, Mr. Tap. It's a mistake. It's a 9 goal and 14 assists, Mr. Tap. So I apologize for that one. I'm going to make the modification here. So because coach is honest, make mistake, he will tell you. He make a bad mistake, he will tell you again. So 9 goal, you have 7 goal. You have 14 point assists, 13 point, 23 point last year, 20 point for him, -3. Anderson last year, 7 goals during the time of the year. I've only 1 goal this year. And then you have 9 point last year and 5 point this year. Tripler had the most minute up in TOI as a forward with Monahan. I did not put Monahan there. I apologize. And then I did not put Slafkovsky because Slafkovsky have only 2 goals and 4 assists maybe. And you have most precisely the same thing. Gallagher, Mr. Tap, 9 point this year or 10 point this year, 9 point last year, 4 goals, 5 assists. Now this year, 5 and 5. I removed Armia, Evans, everybody else. I'll just give you an idea where we at after 25 games. So people say, oh, they are 2 points behind to make the playoff, and you think they are progressing as a team. Now the number does not lie to you, Mr. Tap. So I would like to hear from you. What do you think?
Well, the number doesn't lie, but I mean, we're looking only at specific portions of the whole story here, Coach. First of all, I don't agree with Therion. I think a lot of times Therion just goes off on tangents and doesn't really center his comments around what makes sense for the team. I mean, this is a total aside, but I think he's very opinionated about certain things, and I didn't like the way he treated the team when he was here as well, and certain players. But that aside, if we look at the stats, let me ask you a couple questions, Coach. If at the beginning of the year I told you Montreal is 2 points out of a playoff spot, would you be happy or disappointed?
But my point will be happy, but at the end, it's live for what's going on because with minus 17, they not should be there. That's going to be my
The
red
point,
flag. As a team, we
but
not play well.
yes, yes, but at the end of the day, when you look at this, there's a lot of factors that come into play. Number one, I think last year, this year, I think the injuries really started early, especially Doc. It happened after what is, I think it was the third game that he got injured, third or fourth game or something like that. I mean, you take somebody of that magnitude out of your
I
lineup,
think Mr. Tap is
that's gonna
second game.
that's
I
gonna
think he
affect
play only 4 period.
who?
Doc.
Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe he played even less. You might be
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I
That's what
don't I don't
That's what
recall.
I just said to you. I think it is.
Yeah, yeah, you're probably right, and that's my point. Like I think
Yeah.
you look at some of our players, and they were out of commission right away. Matheson at the beginning was not playing 100%. He even missed a few games. Gooley got injured. We had RHP. I mean, that was a little bit later on. He wasn't having a great year, anyways. But I mean, these things all come into play. And it juggles the lineup around quite a bit, and so that will affect any kind of stats that you put out. Like stats are good, and you can make them work for you, but you can also make them work against you, and that's the only thing I take away here. Um, the fact that I believe when you look at, forget all the stats, put that aside. Would you agree that you've seen development this year over last year?
So again,
Would you agree that you've seen development in Montreal as a team this
as a
year over
team, no.
last
As a team, no.
year? See, that's where I would disagree.
Wh- which
I
area
think
they which area they are better? Power play, PK, goal for, go again. This is a team. That's
okay,
simple.
but
They have the
again,
four set you can compare about that one there. Anything else? About
no,
Israel
no, no. You,
players, now we have other things. But as Israel players, I'm concerned me to give a contract $8 million to Caulfield and Slafkovsky, Caulfield and Zuski. They are regressing compared last year. And you
they're
give them a contract of $8 million to become better, and they are not.
no, now you're starting to sound like Mark, coach. Come on, you have to have more faith than that. They're not regressing if you look at it. Like you're taking a picture of 20 games and you're saying the stats based on those 20 games, right?
The
I,
25
I can
game,
also,
that's what I talk about. Is you have no
okay,
progression the first 25 game compared last year. Tell me which area they are better.
they're better in a lot of areas because there's been development in their prospects. You look at their defensemen, we've seen progression with Kovacevic, Cooley. We've seen progression with uh,
Now you
in
talk
terms
about
of,
individual players.
yeah, but that makes part of the team.
It's
It
not a
doesn't
part of the
help.
team. It's a progression of individual players. That's not make the
Okay,
team
but
better. During the time, Kovacevic, Byron, Cooley is better. Evans, Anderson are not better or worse. Peseda is worse, and I can go all the way like that. And
in
that's
all
where I
fairness, he
think
hasn't played
that's
much.
the reason why the team is not progressing. That's the reason you have no progression over there. As well, we all going to agree with fun player like Slafkovsky, everything like that. But as a team, I don't see progression.
But I think once you have individual development and progression, that's when the team stats will start to improve, and you'll see the difference pay off down the road. Like right now, you're basing it on 20 games that they've played, or whatever the number is. That's again, I say that's not a fair indication because even the power play, up until the last 3 or 4 games, we were saying, look
No,
how
nine
much better
games on
improved.
top. I apologize. They have 8 games with 0 goal on power play.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's
okay.
about
So
33% of the power
of the
play,
season.
but they have the same number of the point like last year. They have the same thing, 17.1, 17 point, whatever it was.
But would you say that they've improved in the details of the game?
Only, as I said to you, the biggest progression is on face-off.
Well, that one's a huge improvement. Like we won't even talk
That's
about it.
the
But
biggest. If you ask a progression, one area, I would set power on the face-off. That's pretty much it. On the individual players, I would say the defensemen, like you said, they score more goal we expect, and they all won the team. But as a team, what are you looking for? Imagine the Enortap tonight, all right? They score more goal what we expect. At the remove, I don't know, they score 20 goal. Only remove 5 or 7 goal from the defensemen. What are they going to be? Maybe 2, 3 last game? That remove now from 2 point close to the wild card to maybe 7, 8 point behind. That's the reality behind the number, Mr. Top. For me, this is what the reason they are not progress. A team progression, it should have more goal. They should give less goal. The power play at least should be a little bit better. On the PK, it's worse. As a team together, we don't talk about different players. And now, when you talk about different players, Mr. Tap, I completely agree with you.
my point here, coach, is I understand what you're saying, but you're basing it on a very small sample at this point. Now, if you want to just compare 20 games last year to 20 games this year, then you can fine tune it to that. But I'm saying a lot of teams, a lot of players, a lot of organizations will go through different peaks and valleys at different times, right? You never know. The next 20 games, we might be far exceeding what we did last year. Last year, I wasn't pleased with a lot of things I was seeing, right? And it wasn't just individually, because individually there were some great highlights. Oh, look at Caulfield and what he's doing. Can this guy reach 50 goals? You look at Suzuki, he's getting a point a game or practically close to it. I'd rather see that production go down as long as I know as a team they're coming together, they're playing the right way. And I think that's something that takes time, and you can't just measure it quantitatively like this over a 20 game period. I see that development. It's been there. It's and even the numbers that you gave, I mean, they were very close anyways, like 17.7 power play versus 17.1 penalty kill. I mean, you could say, hey, Byron's gone. That's a big part of your penalty kill right there. That's out of your lineup, and nobody to replace him. Goaltending situation, throwing 3 goalies out there on a random cycle of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You're in, doesn't help any of the 3 goalies, and yet they've stood their ground, right? I mean, you can go on and on with this. It's the point is, I see overall that there is some kind of internal development. You might want to call it intangibles that are improving within the team. And that's what leads me to be optimistic about where they're going in the future, rather than being pessimistic and saying, if I just compare the stats, well, they're not there. I mean, it's like looking at Ovechkin and saying the guy has only 5 goals in 20 games. He must be a horrible goal scorer. No, he's just going through a bad slump. He's on a bad team right now, so he's not scoring. And you can go on and on with these kind of examples, right?
But
Let's see at the end of the year.
as a team, you see a progression this year. You see a better team Montreal Canadiens this year compared last season.
I see development. I see development. We're
But
talking about,
development
I
is
think,
not,
two different things.
it's not about it's not about development. It's about progression. Do we have a progression as a team this year compared last season?
If you're measuring progression statistically, I'll agree with you. But if you're
But
measuring
that's the reason
progression
why we talk
as
about this.
part of
That's what they are.
development,
That's the way they
I,
are. For me, a progression, you have to make more goal. For me, as a team, don't give enough goal. They don't give a lot of goal. They have to increasing the number of the peak on the power play, and the special team have to be better. Return, like I said to you, only one area, or maybe 2 area. They score more goal for the defensemen, and they are saving right now the team. Without those goals, Montreal is maybe at 8 point behind. Secondly, right? The Montreal Canadiens are really good on face-off. Puck possession are not there. They not control the puck. Their PK is not great, and they give too many goals. They have been in the tie game. I will have to look about the score last season, but at the end of the day, I don't see a progression as a team, a unit team. I see a progression as individual player. I think we're going to be agree with 5, 6, 7 players. Our progression have a better year. Honestly, I was expect worse for the second year, the sophomore year, right? We
Hmm.
expect that the jinx is a jinx the woods,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
The
Well, I was
sophomore jinx.
expect, only one got bad is Xhekaj. The rest, they're still hanging there, like Coley, Slafkovsky is one of them. Kovacevic, whatever, is 27
Yeah,
years
yeah.
old. It's only second year in NHL, right? Um, Iris, I
I
think he
mean, you.
was one of them too. I can go away like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
as a team, I don't think so. Is a progression of the team. Is it now? GSM just talk about this. Do you expect now more? GSM said, do we hit the ceiling with Caulfield at 67 points? This is 67 points. Is it what they deserve to be $3 million, $8 million?
No,
That's be a little bit concerned for me. If you gave $8 million for the kind of player can be in the second line, imagine your first line. You would open the bank out of your template or your salary cap, Mr. GSM. But I don't know. This is the best they can get
no.
from
I
this.
think I think you're right. Like 60 to 70 points is not at an $8 million level. I'll agree with that. But I'm going to draw back to what both Hughes and Gorton said when they drafted Slafkovsky, and even Martin St. Louis said it. It reiterated. They said we didn't get him for now. We got him for what he can do in the future. And I think that's what the $8 million is all about. Right now, you don't have all the right pieces together to say Caulfield and Suzuki should be getting 90 plus points a year. The right pieces just aren't there. I mean, we're still going through this whole rebuild situation. As players come in via draft, via prospects, via trades, via free agency, then if they're not producing and still only getting 60 points, then you say, yeah, that's a bust for that type of a contract. But I can guarantee you, barring any injuries, that these two players will be at that level of 80 plus for sure once they get the right pieces in place.
Time we tell us for sure. All the number are
Absolutely.
not good. Fire Martinson. I don't think it's about fire the coach about that. It's more about the fact where they at that moment. Uh, Donuts, and I think again then it was a shock, so was Bryce. Yeah, there was not reference not going down. I would say this coach, Montreal ceiling one day are playing well is higher than last year, a progression over last season. The floor was not play well at the same time as last year. So he believe as a team they play better for Marko. Just some agree on ski, but I think Caulfield has much higher ceiling with the right linesman. Dak was injured in the first period of the second game of the season. You're absolutely
Yeah.
about that
Yeah.
one there. I thought Sabah being out was a blow for our defense, Jimbo.
Yeah. We
Overall,
forgot about Savard. Yeah.
overall, yes, but that gave a chance for Kovacevic. Langstrom scored 7 goals. If Savard is on the ice, you have to cut more minutes for those players, and not sure they're going to score 7 goals. That reminds me of Enortap last year, RHP. Injuries of many players that make RHP to come back and score 14 goals, 34, and this year have 0 goal.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
uh, you know,
But, with Savard in the lineup, though, certain other areas would have probably been a little bit better. Maybe the penalty kill would have been a little bit more effective instead of the clip that we're at now. So there's always a give and take. Like Savard brings that experience too, that settling
yeah,
experience for
of
the
course.
defenseman. And like I said, the penalty kill would be vastly improved, I think.
Patrick Leblanc, where are our Stenkos, Edmund, Point, Kisharov, Sergachev, Vasilevsky? Not this year, not in 5 years, not in 10 years. Patrick Leblanc, about that one. Great coach. We all see the ceiling. Not never lie in our tap. Abination. I think coach is a friend of Terrien. Well, yes, I am. I agree with him because you don't know Michel Terrien very well about that one over there, but Marien, yeah, Terrien was something to work with. Funny. I don't think there are any question that Kozki production has regressed year over year. Ski Carfield will both finish near 70 points GSM. As Martin Bayan would said, add neat players, Leon Renault. Coach, perhaps
Absolutely.
point production is down, but look at the details overall of the eyes. Repetition, every player goes through a slump at some point in their career. About that.
Yes. Yes. Agreed.
Where are our Senkos Edmond? Last by port drafting zero development by Martin Villain is his regime for Roy. I would be fine if the offensive production was lower, if there was play more responsibility for Marko. Add out the point out of the player, that's all that matters to the players.
To the
I'm sure right
players, but
about
not
this,
to
GSM, but I'm sure Martin Saint-Louis, he said a minus
yeah,
17 is a bit concerned more about that, GSM.
as a coach.
Yeah, I like it. I like it because the Oilers missed out that 4-0, by the way, with 5 to go at the first period, guys. Unbelievable about that. Hyman scored his
There you
second
go.
goal of the game about that one over there. Dressado missed out that 0 point. My fantasy team looking bad because there's a little problem about that. And anyhow,
He's such a bad hockey player. That's what it is.
that's crazy. Uh, I like that one, Mr. JSM, about this one. Patrick Caulfield has some excuse. His shoulder ski has no excuse. Play is leverage minute and not backing up. Most point at his is never getting nose dirty and frustrated to me about this. Patrick,
Suzuki
I
had a
agree, but
very slow
Tampa
start,
was
right?
built 6 years ago. Now they have to well machine to cup is a very good team. The only big progression so far is Montembeau, 5 on 5 save percentage. Suzuki has no intensity, no grit overall on his defensive zone. Coach 100% with you. Alan, calling negative opinion attitude of coach, knowing that he ain't been called a negative. GSM, no problem with that part. I can accept your point of view, but I see I'm more a little bit more realistic, GSM, compared to you. That's the only thing I would say to you, and you reply to you my negativity about that one over there. The number does not lie, Mr. GSM. Remember, Mr. GSM, Montreal Canadiens, if you want to progress, they have to hit 80 point to 82 point. If you don't hit that, no progression on my book. No progression on my book. Because this is the team, if you want to
No.
call, you have to progress. And right now, honestly, GSM, remember that we are December 6th right now. Montreal Canadiens are going to be bottom in NHL at the end of the year. That's simple. You cannot win with Enortap at minus 17.
No, I agree. But the problem is there is so much parity this year, coach. You cannot measure it by where they finish in the standing necessarily or the amount of points they get. Like these points do not come easily for any team. Like you could see Vegas doing great at the beginning of the year. They're starting to squander now. You look at another team like Carolina that should be dominating, Toronto should be dominating, and they're not. The reason is not because they necessarily have bad teams, because they don't. They have excellent players, elite players on those teams. But the problem is
Yeah,
there's
the
a lot
word
of
parity
parity.
you just said because the parity is
Right.
already there. Yeah.
And
Every
so,
game is
like, if
not
you
easy.
take, okay, Ottawa right now has only played 20 games. So they have a boatload of games in hand, but they're in last place at 20 points. A playoff spot is at 27 right now with the New York Islanders. So if somehow they're able to win 3 or 4 of those games, they're right in the mix. Montreal is the same thing. They're with Pittsburgh. They're with New Jersey. Like again, if I say at the beginning of the year, Montreal is going to be at par with New Jersey, Pittsburgh, and Buffalo, probably ahead of Buffalo. And even many people were saying, oh, Columbus, look out, they're going to be up there. They're right with them. So to me, that's parity in the NHL. And so getting 80 points is not a measuring stick to say, this is a good team that will make the playoffs. I think you have to look at how they handle situations, how they develop their team on a progressive basis, and that's going to take time. And that's what I've been preaching all year long: is have patience. This is not a 1 to 5 year plan. This is something that's going to take, I would say, in total, 7 to 8 years for you to have a team that's going to be very, very competitive in the NHL.
Yep, so right about that. I agree with you for sure. About those years, I think I'm all better for the last season, Randy. Seriously, we are dealing with decent players. Devorak, Anderson, Armia, Ab, Korean, too many past players. I agree with you, Franco, about that. Is not Patrick Leblanc. No, I'll be disagree with you about this, Patrick. I understand your point of view about that, right? It's 48-52. But when you dominate Mr. maybe 20 or the 25 game of each game on face-off, and you are on the top 5 in NHL standing, Patrick, it's not only because it's a flip-flop. It's because
No,
honestly,
no.
they have improved that quality of the face-off. And I would say to you, when they win a defensive zone, the puck go behind you, and they run the puck deep, and the puck get out of the zone quicker, faster, better. I would be disagree with you, Patrick, about that one there. Talent and player. The team is make up of the individual talent and the players. You're absolutely right about this, GSM. It's more easy for you first line when you have a good second line, but that's not the case with the Abs. Alden would be gone soon. We're gonna get the prospect. Like I said, our best team game this year have been better. The standard ceiling they set is higher, just chasing consistency and higher floor, as the Montreal often said. The Ab need more talented players. Gary Conroy, I agree with you. With both mere 70 point and the season. I agree with you, GSM, about that. No, well said about them. I agree with Enortap. I won. At one point, it's a player going on the straight and they switch the situation around. About that, at one point, what we see is what we're going to get. It's time try to pick up everything on top before we move on. I miss an intensity, and then again, it's a team full of the young players. They never found their own chair style. GSM said the team is at 2 point of the playoff. Yeah, absolutely about that, GSM. If Tourigny came in as a guest coach, he would said, "MLS, you lying so prudent about that one over there." For that, I think development will equate progression, certainly on the longer, simple size for that one. Montreal was played better in the first half of the last season que the first half of the season. Patrick Leblanc. At the stat are down, no progression there. Luke Everson. Thirdly, we have an impressive Montembeau progression. Goalie are a part of the team. They take Tampa goalie away. Don't win any Stanley Cup, GSM. The worst thing could happen is that they make the playoff. Will set the cup back many years. Coach, how many
You're
goals
right.
were scored by Suzuki and Caulfield one played with Duck last season? I will have to go back again, Roy, to tell you that, but I'm sure they have a couple of them, of course, together. The big Pacific, we all see how good they can play this year. The bad news, they cannot win this constantly enough for that one. Another 2 years, Marko. 15 for the first line combination. 70 point player on getting $7-8 million per year, GSM, for that one over there.
Yeah, that's the going rate too. Yeah, he's not wrong. He's not wrong, especially with the cap increase.
I disagree. Carson,
Well, let's
check
look at the
$5
top
million,
10.
Mr. Tap, 60 point.
Who is Trocheck?
Vincent Trocek, yeah.
Yeah, but for every one of those, you'll see there's much more that
I have to
are in
look
that
about this.
range.
I will come back to you, Mr. Tap. I'm going to give
Yeah,
you the
yeah,
facts
that'd be an interesting one to look into because I do agree with
because,
GSM.
Mr.
I
Tap,
think
if you pay your
that
player
is the
at
going
seven,
rate.
$8 million at 60 point on your second line, because a 60 point, Mr. Tap, is the second line, no?
Yeah,
right? Imagine
It
your
should
first
be.
line, 9, 10, 11 million. You completely out on the salary cap. You
Yeah.
cannot pay players on the first line, on the second line, at 67 point at $8 million.
Yeah, but they weren't intended to be your second line players here. For now, they're your first line
Check an
players. Suzuki
example.
Koskinen.
Okay, check an example. Let's go with Colorado. Rantanen, McKinnon are the highest number, right?
Okay.
9 million, 12 million, and they play on the first line. They carry on what? 100 point, 90 point, right?
Yeah.
Now, your second line, right? You have what? You have Kadri before that. You have
They
Comfort
got rid
some
of him.
point. You have Nikushkin over there. Owenson this year. Uh, Lekonen, sometimes you go up and down. Lestagog is another one over there. All those players on tap all carry on less as about $6 million less. Only Lestagog 7 million, but he carry on the first line. So Lekonen, Wenson, everybody else has $6 million. I just feel my point of view, Mr. Tap, if you pay those players 60 point, 70 point, your second line at $8 million, your template or sorry cap not going to be good.
But the intention is that they're first liners in
Yeah,
Montreal.
yeah.
That's the problem. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the point behind that. About
Yeah.
that. 4-0, the Oilers, Leon. Suzuki at some point with no intensity cheating, showing any others intensity. And Mountain for we need one of the point players. We need to go back in the business. Arber score twice. Stop expecting Dak getting a knee reconstruction is never a good thing. It will certainly be unscapey about this. Why Tony, who said we need one of the point player on the Win Cup. I think Marko is what he tried to explain to you or to us. It's not you need a necessary a 100 point, but you need a scorer to score 40 goals, 50 goals, carry on the team more with a 40, 50, 60 assists. A guy can carry on a 90 point overall, Marco. It's rare a team does not win. Yeah, it was an exception. Vegas did it. I understand. Not every year is like that. You need a lot of new star around, and that's what he tried to explain to us. I think that's the way I see
Yeah.
that.
You need an elite player. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Need more high talent. Here we go. Following by Nicholas about that. Right now, they add are building the core, then they add high plus Jimbo. Great point about this one there.
Absolutely. Yes.
20, we add 2 points per game. It will be enough for 82 points. 20. Mark, Cole is an example of the progress. The young guys are stepping up. 1.2, Tony. We are really surprised. Only a few players changed from last year. New Hook, Pearson, Estobal, Tony, Mark Harrison, Carlson as one of the players. How did San Jose do that last year? Question: is there not a conflict of interest between allowing players to develop and to playing Emerson is fair to win? Interesting about that one there. Caulfield need to more implicate defensively and his development. Maurice Robillard, they work on it. But the young guys have got very serious injury. This will affect them to a long term. He will carry on this through their career for Patrick Leblanc. But it's a part for everybody, guys. Thompson got hurt. Cousin got hurt. Many players, young players, they got hurt. Obviously, this is the new thing in each other. It's fine if we all disagree. I agree with you. I just not true. If we all agree, it would be boring. I'm sorry about that. I would finish at 80 points. That'd be great. And again, I know people think I'm negative, but it'd be great. But I'm telling you right now, that would not be good news, Mr. Tap, because we're going to draft now later in the draft.
Yeah, you'll probably be around 10 to 12.
Yep. I'm right about this one. Gallagher is better this year. Played well with Pearson, Jimbo. About this one. Yeah. Marko said goal differential is a very revealing stat. I agree with you. For sure. What is
Yeah,
plus free
it's
differential?
revealing. It's revealing that you have weaknesses in certain areas. And so but the development has to occur in those areas in order to become a good team. Like it's not going to happen overnight. That's my whole point. And just to answer a couple comments I saw, are we going to wait 7 or 8 years? No, it's not going to take 7 or 8 years. Well, this is already technically almost the third year in the development. So 8 take away 3 is 5 years, and I'm not saying just to make the playoffs. I'm saying to be a very competitive team in the NHL. I heard a great thing this morning on the radio. Coach said, you know what, with the parity that occurs in the NHL now that we have, there's 32 teams in there. If every team were to win the cup on alternate years, it would take 32 years before it came back to you. And how long are we in this process? And you know that not all organizations are ever going to see a cup.
Yeah, I can understand your point of view. I understand your point of view about progression, but progression for me is a stat. A stat does not lie. And for me, you have minus 17 right now. Worse than last year. For me, it's no progression.
But I'm saying we need a bigger time slot. Like if at the end of the year we were at minus 18, then I'd say it's time to worry about that. Right now, it's a small sample size.
Yeah, I tried to give you a stat. Every team made the playoff. How many you think they are differential minus when they make the playoff?
None. I think last year maybe there was one. That's it. I remember
Right?
looking at that, and I mean, it has to be like you can't necessarily, unless you're a very like you rely totally on your goaltending, and so you lose games 3-0, but you go out and win 1-0. If you're that type of a team, then it's going to be a bit skewed. But there's not many of those teams around.
I'll give you an idea. The worst goal differential is at that plus 17 last year.
The worst was minus.
The worst team made
Yeah.
the playoff in the Eastern Conference is plus 17, the Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
On the Eastern,
I think that's where we had one.
plus
One
22,
team,
the Winnipeg Jets. Oh, no, sorry. The Minnesota Wild,
No.
plus 21.
Okay.
Montreal Canadiens last year, minus 75, Mr. Enortap.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
So, that's not the goal differential make a big impact at the end of the year, Mr. Enortap.
It does make an impact, the goal differential. It most definitely does. Yeah.
So, Tap, the time I look about this, the Golden Knights score 4-3 goals. They take the lead, Mr. Enortap, 4-3.
There you go.
Let
Wow.
me check about this, Mr. Enortap.
That sounds like one hell of a game.
For 9:42 to 12:42, it's 3 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Minus 24 and 2 minutes and 36 seconds, Mr. Enortap. They scored 3 goals.
Wow. Not surprised.
Like you said, Mr. Enortap, parité.
That's exactly it, right? And remember, once upon a time in the NHL, if you ever built up a 2-0 lead, you could pretty much close the bags and let the fat lady sing because the game was over. And this year, no lead is safe enough.
Yes. GSM, I agree with you about that. Brisbane did not build anything I think from Eisenman. No way Montreal reached 80 points a share. I wish, but not going to happen. We never said impossible, Mr. Tap. I learned this in hockey.
No.
But
I mean, it's sometimes it's unfair too, because these teams that have that negative differential are also the teams that are trying to build, and come trade deadline time, they get rid of whatever assets they might have to try to continue to build in the right direction. And so that gives you a false indication of where they're headed, but you got to look at it down the road, and they're building towards something.
yeah, great point about everybody, Maurice talk about Martin Saint-Louis progression. Mark Elliott talk about the power play, everything. Jason talk about the players that don't care about rebuild. They want to win. I agree with you about that one over there. One Distracek signed 2 years ago, I believe, with the New York Rangers after he got a UFA contract
It makes a difference.
with the range for the Canada Hurricane, and that's what happening. And then the Canada Hurricane did what he did, Mr. Tap.
Who, Carolina?
They got the
Sorry?
Kokanemi.
Oh, yeah. They can have him. Trust me.
After that, for that share. Trocheck last year, the Rangers, Mr. Tap, 64 points. $5 million. So that's what is for me, Mr. Tap. When you build the template, we did it many times, right? You have the players at the top first line. You have to be your player at $9 million, and you try to not get the $10 million if you can. $8-9 million would be the great template at that moment when the salary cap is 83.5. Now he's increasing $4.2 million next year. That's a part of the template. Your second line, you try to get a players below or not over $6 million. Your third line, you don't want to be over $3 million. And the fourth line, you try to get around $1 million each one of them. And then you can go first pairing, one player, $9 million, and then you go at $6 million, then you drop at 4, then you go at 3, and then 2 and 1, similar like that. Goaltender, you try to get about $5 million, you goaltender number 1 max, and then you try to get a duo less at $7 million. That's less an average of the good template. So recap, Mr. Enortap.
Yeah, of course, there's a template, but it'll change as the cap changes, right?
Exactly about that one there. Was a second line center coach, average 70 point for Marko Bergeron. About that, Bergeron have all around game. That was not. Now, you cannot compare Bergeron with Ski for me, my opinion. Let's face it, Ski and Caulfield would be a second line on Stanley Cup team and Maurice Robillard. Question, Mr. Enortap. Do you believe the media and the fan base will have to patient to wait 7 or 8 years?
A Montreal base, probably not, but should they be? Yes, that's not an unrealistic goal.
Now,
and like I said, they're already 2.5 years into this. So
yeah,
take that off of the 8.
but I think, Mr. Enortap, when you said that, it's really one you maybe top at maybe what? Top 10, top 6?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not saying that they're going to just make the playoffs. They're going to be a very competitive team in the NHL.
Yeah, but I think you have to go about in 3 years, Montreal should be in the playoff.
Yes, that I would agree wholeheartedly. Because
okay, yeah,
keep
I
in
just
mind,
want to clarify that. I think people thinking you said only they would make the playoff with that one over there.
No, to be a serious contender for the cup is what I'm trying to say.
I agree with you about that.
Provided everything goes well, right? Like, keep in mind every year that they lead the NHL in injuries, it sets them back in that plan because these players aren't developing. They're not playing with the proper chairs. They're not developing the chemistry that they need. So it really takes away from what they have to do. And, they also have contracts that they still need to clear out. Like, these are all things that come into the equation. And remember, we talked about this last time. On top of all of this, even if you're doing all the right things and you're making the right acquisitions, you also have to have that element of luck, whether it's in the draft, whether it's health, whether it's trades that you make. And all it takes is one or two of those things that don't actually materialize, and your team is set back all the time.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that for sure. Try to pick up everything else. A lot of people don't forget, guys, to click on the likes. Question: opinion on this year draft is really a depth one on your opinion, or is very front load, say first 10, 15 players from Nicholas?
I think it's a fairly deep pool from what I can see so far. I mean, I have to read up on a lot more of the prospects, but the first round looks extremely solid. And not only from a forward perspective, but also a defenseman perspective.
Great point about that. I would say it's not compared like last year. I would say to you, Nicholas, last season it was really bad. It was really good. Deep. You can go a little bit more
For
20, 25,
forwards.
20, 30, and then you can go all the way to 40, the player 30, 40 to 20, 30. It could be swing left and right. So I would say to you, uh, not this way. But as a defenseman, it's maybe one of the best on the 2000 as a defenseman. I would not be surprised they draft 10 of them and the first 20, Nicholas, about that. So I'll give you an idea what it looked like overall. But the forward, they have great three forward right away. Demidov with Elzheimer and Celebrine Enortap. And then after that, you have the other one, the Lindstrom. You can get the Katten example, Elinius from Finland, and I can go all the way like that, Mr. Tap, for sure. Canadiens team are losing RFA to use team. Yeah, it's a long season, so early to say worse or better yet. It's too soon to even said who making the playoff. Team are similarly by few one. So great point about that one there, GSM. But GSM, remember, it's not a tap. I think, if you look about the goal differential right now and NHL, right?
Yeah.
The Ottawa are out, but they are +5.
That's right. But they have games in hand. That's why.
Right? So for me, it would be a good team could make the playoff. Buffalo Sabres are in the same boat like Montreal, -16. Not looking
That's right.
good. Toronto are there. Tampa Bay are -4. Minus now they are -2. You don't like to see that for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now on the flip side, Mr. Tap, this is the reason why it could have 5+3, Mr. Tap. And Atlantic
In the Atlantic.
versus that. Because you think about the Flyers are +4, Carolina +5. Now they're only +1. And then you have the Pittsburgh Penguins. I know you don't like them. They are +8, Mr. Tap, play for 500 with the loss tonight. The Jersey, Mr. Tap, you don't like it, -3.
New Jersey's at -3,
Yeah.
yeah.
For at the end of the day, after 25 games on top, if you are -5 or less, it's not like a panic mode, right? But if you talk about Buffalo at -18 and -16, and on those Mr. Tap, you don't like it, -10.
Yeah, I know. It hasn't been good.
No.
You're right.
This could be a problem for them.
But coach, you look at even teams like Carolina +2, Toronto +2. I mean, they're not numbers to be boasted. They're very concerning as well. It indicates that there's something that is not right in those organizations as well.
Yeah. Besides that, the Flame -14 and the Kraken -22. On the flip side, you have the Canucks, +32.
+32, yeah. And
what's
LA
where you talk
probably
about the
around there
others,
too.
Mr. only -5.
Right.
Not a bad.
And
It's good to see that.
And that's before tonight. Aren't they winning 4-0 right now?
I
So
think
that's a -1 right now.
Yeah, they're absolutely right about that one there. So
what
are
are the Sharks
does
at?
a very good win a long term.
What are the Sharks at, coach?
So again,
what are the Sharks at? They've got to be very
-52.
high. Okay, gotcha.
They don't go to make it.
No, that's a pretty safe bet to take.
Montembeau starting tomorrow, Mr. Tap. You're sorry about
Yes,
this.
it's been
Don't forget,
confirmed.
guys, click on the links. I was upset on the contract of Ski Caulfield contract because they are not first line players, 5 signal per year. Okay, I guess everything like that for sure. So she's quiet on the underrated players. Patrick Leblanc agreed that the draft will look much better in a few years. They got many underrated players. This is not NHL. I think the goalie would get a decent raise on the next contract. I agree with you. Coach, do we know how long a new hook is out? 10 to 12 weeks, Mr. Willie Snyder. Uh, um, for that one, good night. Early tomorrow morning, Mr. Gary, have a good night. Cody Gallemi, his sixth season as 15-point third overall pick, was right to let him leave GSM about that one over there. Roger Colette, the house, don't forget, guys, click on ice. There are no ribbon yeah, with everything Bergeron for contract. Yeah, absolutely about this one over there. I cannot see the Habs offering him longer than 3 years. He maybe only get 2 years as prove us what he can do contract. It's going to be, so 31 years old is contained. Never ready to leave a third. Okay. Do you agree that Hugo may feel a pressure for the management soon to compete at Troy and sign you a free or trade RFA to speed the progress?
I don't think he feels the pressure. Like I truly believe that they came in and they do have a definitive plan, and they're going to stick to that plan. They're going to go through their blueprint that they've set up, barring any unforeseen, tragedy that happens. Right? I don't think that just because the fan base is yelling a win. I mean, the fact of the matter is the place still sells out. It's like Toronto. It sells out every single game, whether they're winning or losing. So I don't think that pressure is there. The pressure to have a championship until they start making drastic errors in their decision making and showing that this blueprint is not effective, then they're going to carry on with that plan. And I think that they won't have to wait as long as people anticipate they will have to.
For me, in the center of that, I would say it all depends the progression of the team. I think for
Exactly.
me, they need, example, a winger for Zuski Caulfield or a winger
Yep.
on the top six, right? A piece of the puzzle. Why to wait 2 years? I understand they have a contract to let it go, but at the end of the night, I feel like Montreal Canadiens should looking about the possibility to add a player. So for me, it would be a little bit quicker uh, because of the situation of different things, Mr.
It'll be quicker depending on the drafts. Not the draft, but the free agency
Yeah,
players
yeah,
that are
yeah, yeah,
available.
yeah, 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 yeah.
If for example this year, I haven't looked at who's a free agent this year, but if this year's not a good year, then they're not going to feel compelled to jump in right now. They'll wait a year if they know that next year's a bigger pool to choose from.
I agree with you about that one over there. A lot of people, Bob Uncle is in the house. Welcome back with us. Thanks with us. Coach Hughes was pretty clear on this presser. He was not super happy with season so far. Marco, uh, uh, loving the KK talk and the Villa. That's what I mean, Coach. I'm not sure if very deep about that. Yeah, exactly about that, Mr. Nicholas. I think Caulfield has more skill because his skill overall. He is
They're
more a
different kind of
scorer.
players.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
different kind of players. I agree with you about that. I will definitely take a contract right now. Very good deal for second line center. And you can bring him, Marco, as a fourth center if you want to. I think it would be a great. If you think about that, if you have Zuski, Caulfield, and
Uh,
Kokonemi, all three in the same location with a $4 million, this is a great deal overall, Mr. Enortap. Willie, do you think it's possible a
I agree.
Sharks move from San Jose? I don't think so, Willie. I don't think so. They have a really great owners over there, and I would be surprised. I still think Montreal should target Kaliev. Not sure LA would be able to offer him potential top six, a bigger dude who can score. Um, the owners, Mr. Tap, take the lead 5-0. I'm not sure about this,
Okay.
Marco, how much you can offer him. He does not have a lot of conversation. He does not have a lot of average leverage to ask a lot of money and return Marco. That would be give a chance to stay around there. McDevil on the McDevil goal. Bergeron let go. Bergeron and Dano. and one on the Kevin and Armand, go figure, Patrick Leblanc. Are talking about Bergeron. Mais ça, we are almost at the end of the show, and we're still there. Montembeau back-to-back. What do you think about that, Mr. Enortap?
It's about time. I mean, they have to start going with the hot hand. Going 1, 2, 3 with all three prospects is not the right thing to do. And it was affecting all three goalies in my eyes. But having said that, you can also you have to be careful not to overwork Montembeau. I think you have to give Allen his games as well. And something's going to happen. I mean, I thought by now something would have happened, and I don't think we're that far off. But one of these goalies probably, don't be surprised if it's Caden Primo, just because the contract's much more manageable and there's more of a ceiling that ends up going.
Yep, I agree with you about that one. There, it was a time to do it. I think this is the give the chance to have a better way overall for sure. Let's see what we got here. After that, Mr. Tap, we have the ad news. Madison Armia day treatment. Armia was not the practice today. Yesterday was Mike Madison. We know Mike Madison struggling with a lot of minute. We talked about Xhekaj earlier, so we're not going to get there, Mr. Tap, for that one. We already talked about this. Preview game tomorrow, Mr. Tap, the Kings and Montreal Canadiens. What are your expectations for tomorrow?
It's going to be a very tough game. I hope Montembeau is at the top of his game because, like I said, they can roll their lines very well, LA. They have three very strong centermen. They win on the road. Montreal hasn't had great luck at home either. It's not going to be easy, but Montreal has shown us from time to time this year that they rise to the occasion when they play a very good team. So my hope is it's at the very least a very competitive game, and it's going to be tough for Montreal to win this one.
Will be interesting about that for sure. How are you going to go the beat? The 1-3-1 and Kings are looking good so far. They can score.
Yeah.
They can stop the puck. Very good defensive, and will be a very difficult game for the Montreal Canadiens. There will be a good statement. They can beat them. We know again them at the Crypto Arena. They done not very good whatsoever. Martin, so we said they play well the first period, 4-0 overall. Tap, so it was not great for sure. GSM think they're going to get GSM at 3-2. Nicolas de Goubi-Bono in the house. Yes, absolutely. Kings are due for a road loss. Yes, they're getting there, Marko, about that. They take everything. Alan Marko, have a good night. Everything like that. And then it's 5-1, Léon Renault. Forget Quebec, Mark. About that. Mr. Tap, Montreal Canadiens prospect, the W Junior 2024, Beck, Hudson, and Fowler are invited to play the team on the Team Canada and the Team USA as an invitation. We know Hudson is going to make it. Fowler should be make it. Owen Beck is the only returner, so he should make it, of course, for the World Junior Championship. Canada not looking good overall, Mr. Tap. With the loss of Shane Wright and then all the coaches that played, Connor Bedard, another one I'm thinking about.
Well,
Denis Brunet will be the only 17 years old.
Their biggest gap, I think, this year is going to be down the middle. Their centermen are not as strong as they have been in the past. And it'll be interesting. I think their wingers are pretty good. Goaltending should be okay. Defensemen will be fine, but I'm worried about the strength down the middle.
Great point about that. Mark Elliott said, how can Arizona survive one day? They cannot even sell out that barn they are playing. And could they move it to Quebec maybe? I don't think so, Mark.
No. As a matter of fact, I heard that they purchased land in Arizona. And so
I know, you're right.
Might be the next area that they look at to build an arena.
Mr. Tap, Patrick Kane debute tomorrow against San Jose Sharks. What do you expect Kane with the Detroit Red Wings overall?
Well, overall, I think it'll definitely help out. I mean, I wouldn't expect huge things right away because he's been out of action for quite a while, and it takes time for any hockey player, regardless of their skill level, to get back into game action form. So I think overall it will be a definite plus, and it'll be interesting to see if he can spark that connection with the Brinkat again, and how far that can take Detroit.
And finally, M. Enortap, the Ottawa Senator, hired Jacques Martin for the second time in the history of the Ottawa Senator. Martin back in the house of the Senator. What is the purpose behind that?
Consistency. They have to. It's about bringing in somebody with experience and somebody that'll hopefully right the ship here, because you know what, Ottawa, given the talent level that they have, it's and unfortunately, just as an aside, I heard today that Shabbat is going to be out of the lineup for quite a while, so that's going to hurt them as well. But it's something that Ottawa has to be moving in the right direction, and they hadn't been for a while. First with the management, and with some player injuries and situations that came up, like Pinto and so on. The Brinkat leaving under certain circumstances, and uh, I think they have the right pieces. It's a matter of how can they bring this together so that they're doing it on a consistent basis every single night, and I think that's where maybe a Jacques Martin might help.
Enortap, you did it again. It was a great, great show tonight. We wish we have more people because we have a great countenance in the chat. A great people was all into it, Mr. Enortap, about this. I think it was good to talk about the progression Montreal Canadiens overall for tonight, for this season. We're going to see Montreal tomorrow night again, the Los Angeles Kings, Mr. Enortap. We're going to see you during the next. We don't have no weekly. The weekly show Sunday will be Monday night next week, Mr. Enortap. So hopefully see you around it next week to look about that. The Edmonton winning 5-0, guys. The Canadian Hurricane are not recognized. Do you fire Rob Breda? Boom!
You have to do something, Coach. I don't know. You have to do
Mike
something.
Sullivan fire to bring Woodcroft?
No, I don't think Sullivan.
But
But Brenda Moore,
Mr. Enortap, Carl Dubas.
Yes. Kyle Dubas is gonna sink that ship real good.
Mr. Enortap, we need to find a way to bring 100 people in the chat. We need to find a way to have more people. More people will be so much great. Cannot believe people don't believe on the Hockey Nation. Until next way, we cannot be complaining and be upset about it. We're not in control, in charge. It is what it is. Before we leave, Mr. Enortap, we need to recognize you. Not only a great co-host, but because you are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you. Because the people love you, Mr. Enortap, I want to see you in the chat and also as a co-host. You bring so much great contents all the time with great knowledge about hockey. And I'm really happy to have you beside me every time we have a App Nation show.
Pleasure's
But
all
until
mine,
the next
Coach.
time, Mr. Enortap, we have to remember to thanks all the moderators tonight. One with Kings, and of course, Luciano knocked the door with us tonight. And then finally, we have to recognize Arber Xhekaj with all the info update. And of course, the people click on the likes. But the most important thing, the people in the chat talking about hockey. And that's the most important thing. You know who you are. Look at GSM, Patrick Leblanc, and many others, Nick Plus. I can go all the way, Mr. Enortap. I don't want to mention all of them because it will take forever. But Mr. Enortap, we want to thank everybody, and we want to say we'll be back at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Be well, be health. Find a way not only to dominate your day, Mr. Enortap, but find a way to dominate the second half of what?
You're 2023.
You did it again. Had an amazing, great night, everybody. Sweet dreaming. Of course, at Hockey Nation, I should have Nation want to tell you one thing, Mr. Tap. We love you, everybody. Have a great night.
Good night, everyone. Good night, Coach.
Thank you, Mr. Tap. See you next time.
Thank you.
Oh. Booyah!